Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Since it's the end of January, I'm gonna share all the books that I read this month. So I only read 4 books this month. I was hoping to read 5, but it just didn't happen. I'm kind of disappointed, but it's whatever, I guess. But I'm just gonna get right into it. The first book I read this month was Black Thorns by Rina Kent. This is the second book in the Thorns duet. So I gave this book a 2 out of 5 stars. Like, I actually did not like it that much. If you watched my tier ranking video for the books I read in 2023, you'll know that I didn't like the first book, which was Red Thorns. I just decided to keep reading just because it's not a bad book. I just feel like I did not connect with the characters at all. I didn't really like Naomi and I didn't really like Sebastian. I was having like a really hard time reading, and honestly some of the stuff that was like going on in that book was a little too much. If you've read Rina Kent's books before, you'll know that there's always a lot going on, and I feel like in this book it was just too crazy. And I really absolutely hated the ending of the second book, like Black Thorns. I hated the ending. I feel like it was so rushed, and I feel like it wasn't well organized because I don't know, it was just super rushed. I didn't connect with the characters. I didn't really like anything about the book, honestly. This is like the first books I've ever read from Rina Kent that I didn't like, and it was just so disappointing. I was reading the reviews for Black Thorns and it's like so highly rated that I'm just so confused how anyone could read that and like that. It was just strange. Okay, I had to like put the book down a few times and just like, you know, go outside and touch some grass because it was just so crazy. I had to like reconnect with nature, you know. I didn't start off the month with a good start, but the second book I read was so good. It was The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. So I just got this book for Christmas and I knew I wanted to read it right away because I've been wanting to read this since I was in like 6th grade. This is by Michelle Hodkin, but if you have not read this series, you need to right now. Like, if you've read Better Than the Movies, like that's one of my favorite books of all time. They kind of give Liz and Wes but in a darker sense, because I feel like Noah is just giving Wes vibes, you know? He's just such a good guy. I love Noah so much. Mara, she's like just my fave, okay? This book literally has my heart. And if you don't know about the story, so basically Mara was in an accident with her friends and all of her friends died but her. Like, she's the only one that didn't die. But when she wakes up in the hospital, she does not remember a single thing that happened. Her whole family moves to Miami, Florida for like a fresh start, and so she starts at this new school, and on like that first day she like sees this dude and it's Noah, and basically they just start hanging out a lot more, and Mara like soon finds out that Noah like has like this secret whatever, but their relationship is just so good. Like, their communication, I feel like it's really good. And Noah, he just has my heart. Like, he's always there for her. He's just the sweetest. Okay, when I'm reading this book I'm like blushing, giggling, I don't know, I love him so much. But Mara, she's so strong. I love her. And this book was so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I finished this in like 2 days, I believe. It was just so good. Another thing I liked about it was that it was like kind of fast paced. Like, you get right into the story. There's not a lot of story building. You just get straight into it, and it's just super fast paced. Like, I felt like there was never a dull moment because they could never catch a break. Like, there was always something happening, and honestly I got a little bit scared at one point because it's a little spooky. Well, not spooky, but there was just some like scary things happening and I got a little spooked, but it's still pretty good. I love this book so much. The third book I read was The Evolution of Mara Dyer. This is the second book in the trilogy. This one was so much thicker, but I got through it pretty fast too. I gave this one also 5 stars. It just continues like straight from the first book, and this book, I love this book so much. I feel like, I don't know which book I like better. I love them both so much, but I feel like in this book Mara and Noah's like relationship like became stronger, you know, like their bond was better. And in this book, I'm sure you've heard of it. In this book, Noah literally pushes someone into a whale tank just to get put into the same asylum as Mara, just so they can be together. Where do I find a guy who does that? Because I need one. Like, the dedication is real. I feel like this book was like even crazier than the first. Like, the plot twists are crazy. They literally can never ever catch a break. There's just always something going on. I kept getting frustrated a little bit in this book just because, like, how could so many bad things happen to someone? How does that even work? How does Mara Mara literally never catch a break. I love her. I love Noah. This trilogy literally has my heart. I'm in the middle of reading the last book in the trilogy right now, but it's going good so far, and I love this book. You guys have to read this trilogy in your life. Like, please read it. It's young adult. It's like paranormal, I guess. It's just so good. It's not like your average like romance book because there's like so much going on. The last book I read in January was Never Lie by Frida McFadden. So I read The Housemaid's Secret by her back in November, I believe, and I liked it a lot. So I decided to read another one of her books. Okay, so I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I felt like the writing was a little weird. Like, I just didn't really like the writing, but it still kept me on the edge of my seat. Like, it was still pretty good. But so the story is about Trisha and Ethan. So basically they're newlyweds and they're looking for a house to buy together. So they go to like this huge mansion that used to be owned by this psychologist, Adrienne Hale. She disappeared and no one was like ever able to find her. So now Trisha and Ethan were like getting a tour of the house, but since there was like a snow blizzard, they get stuck in the house for a couple of days, and Trisha like finds this like secret room with a bunch of the recordings from Dr. Adrienne Hale's sessions with her patients. And so Trisha starts listening to them and she like discovers what happened to Adrienne Hale, and it's just so wild. Like, it was crazy. I thought I knew what the plot twist was gonna be. Like, I thought I was like a major genius and I thought I figured it out, but it was like totally different than what I thought it was gonna be. And honestly, I didn't like the way the plot twist was. I don't know, I just feel like it's so weird. The plot twist is just weird, okay? Like, I felt like the one that I thought of would make more sense, but whatever. Also, it's in Patricia's point of view and then Dr. Hale's point of view, so you get like the past and the present, and I thought it was pretty good. Like, it was interesting. I didn't like the way it was written, and I didn't like the plot twist and the ending. The ending was too much for me. Like, if you read it, you know that the ending is kind of weird. Like, I felt like it just made no sense at all. Those were all 4 books that I read in January. I had like an okay reading month. I didn't like all the books I read, but that's okay. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!